It is National Reading Awareness Month.
And Brandon, we know that you've been doing a lot of work in schools throughout Metro Detroit, and you've come upon an award-winning children's author who's really got a unique message.
Yeah, she's a former teacher who has written 5 children's books, and her 6th one is coming out April 1st. All her books have a very positive anti-bullying message we could all use. It encourages kids to be themselves and accept others.
Are you going to read it?
Meet Maria Dismondy. She's a mother of 3, an author, a publisher, an entrepreneur, a public speaker, a consultant, and a former teacher.
When people ask me what I do, it's kind of a stressful question because then I stay home with my kids too. So, you pick.
Well, let's first explain how she got all those titles.
So I have always been a writer. Since I was in kindergarten, I started a diary. I have 19 diaries, and they're completely filled, and they're pretty embarrassing to read because, I just wrote and wrote and wrote. But my first time publishing a book was in 2008.
At the time, she was a first-grade teacher, and she was pregnant with her first baby girl.
The first book was Spaghetti in a Hot Dog Bun, and I was inspired by my students. I would have 6-year-olds coming to school complaining about their clothes and being nervous about the way they looked or what the food that was in their lunchbox. And I thought, you are 6. You should be concerned about what you're going to play at recess. That's it.
She wanted her kids to be comfortable, being themselves, so she created characters that children could connect with.
When I went to publish my first book, there was a company who said, we really enjoy your story, but we would like your characters to be animals. And I said, there's no possibility in that, because I really want kids to be able to pick up a book and relate to the characters.
She bases a lot of her characters after people she knows, including herself. In her first book, the main character, Lucy, is teased for having big curly hair and eating spaghetti in a hot dog bun, just like Maria was growing up.
They all have an underlying theme of either teasing, bullying, and then the solution, which a lot of times is empathy and kindness.
In total, she's published 6 books. The first 2 were through a publisher, but she has since made her own publishing company and has published the last 4 herself.
Oh, I love it. I do. It's a lot of fun. But there are times when it gets stressful because I'm home with the kids and I have deadlines.
Her 6th one is due to come out on April 1st. It's called Chocolate Milk, Por Favor, and it was inspired by one of her students.
I taught a little boy named Gabe, and he literally came into my classroom on his 3rd day of living in the United States. He knew no English.
It is about inclusion, friendship, and most importantly, empathy. She actually wrote this story a few years ago, but she decided to publish it recently because of an article she read.
They said we need publishers to start producing children's literature that, represents our society. So when a kid walks into the bookstore and they're of maybe a different race, a different culture, they can pick up a book and say, oh, I can relate to this because the character is like me.
Maria also visits schools as a guest speaker and teaches the kids about the themes in her books. One of the most important themes, empathy.
I tell the kids, to be able to practice empathy, you have to do 3 things. Try, say, and do.
Try to understand how someone is feeling. Say something that acknowledges their feelings. And finally, do something.
And at this point, kids will say, oh, I'm going to say, I'll play with you. And I say, no. You can't say anything at this point. Do something. Take action.
Maria's job title has changed a lot over the years, but in the process, she has learned something important.
It's possible. And I think anything is possible. And I think that message is really important for people.
All right, Maria Dismondy is here live with us, live in the D, and like a mother, she was so proud of the story. Good job, she kept saying. Thank you very much. That was a lot of Michelle Oliver, our photojournalist. Absolutely, yeah. So let's talk about Chocolate Milk, Por Favor. Por favor. We explained a little bit about it in the story there, but tell us, what you chose April 1st for release date, and where can people come meet you and get a signing?
Yeah, I'm really excited. April 1st, there's a ton going on with Twitter and social media. So April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I'm going to be online doing a lot of events. And then the 4th, I will be at Barnes & Noble's in Northville.
Nice.
And there are a couple other events at Bigby and Wixom and another Barnes & Noble's in West Bloomfield.
These books are fascinating and probably one of these things where a lot of moms and dads watching at home are saying, oh, why didn't I think of that? Just brilliant and interesting stuff. how do you keep coming up with new material and doing these books?
Well, it's funny you say that because I was a teacher. So first it was my students who inspired me. And now that I'm a mother of 3, I'm getting so much inspiration just at home. So you're right. There are other parents out there thinking, why didn't I do that?
Right.
And I encourage them, do it.
We experience this stuff every day at home as parents. What a great story idea that would be. But bullying is really a big problem still in this country that we just can't seem to get rid of and figure out. So your books address a lot about that.
Yes, absolutely. And I think as far as parents not knowing what to do, I've done a ton of research on bullying, and I just want to share with them that you have to communicate with your children and talk to them about friendship and communication. And have the conversations, what would you do if? And have these conversations at home so then when your children are away from you, they have that in the back of their head, and they have skills and they have some ideas of what they can do when they're alone at school and something happens.
How about a book becoming a musical? You just went through this. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Spaghetti and a Hot Dog Bun was my first book, and it was released as a musical in the fall, and it just came to Michigan. It had 10 performances in the Utica schools. So it's a production company out of New York City, and they're traveling around the country to schools. And I have to say, it's so much better than my book. It's an hour long. It's super entertaining. The characters are alive on stage, and it's doing what I need to do is get this message out to more people.
So, again, this book signing or where people can get Chocolate Milk, por favor.
Yeah. The book signings are going to be fun, especially the Big B one, because there's going to be some face painting going on. There's a raffle going on, and so you can purchase copies of the book, and you can get signed copies, too.
Well, you are an inspiration. I imagine you have a lot of fun, and the feeling of having 6 books and a musical, what's that like?
It's overwhelming and exciting, and honestly, I just want to make a difference. So whatever I can do to make a difference with my time here.
All right, Maria Dismondy, go check out her new book, Chocolate Milk, por favor. And Guy and Karen, maybe her other 5. Perfect. Karen's got 2 little girls.
Yeah, and there's going to be chocolate milk there, too.
Aww.
Guernsey Dairy Farms is donating chocolate milk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.